My name is Ernest Davis, and I was born in the city of Norfolk in 1941. I was born on a street that's not even there anymore. They renamed the street in Norfolk, St. Paul, but it's not the street that I was born on because of the renovation and the replacement, the projects and stuff. In my area, we were some of the first people that were placed in projects, and that's what they were, projects. The main thing when you are displaced is not to be disconnected with your family. I could stand at Princess Anne Road and Church Street on a Saturday and see 75 or 80% of every black person in this area because we wasn't spread out. Church Street was a mecca. Church Street on a Saturday will be the supply of all of what we need. You had your beauty shops, you had your haircut place, you had a hardware store, Block's Hardware, because we couldn't go down Granby Street. Our dollar value wasn't that good that we were accepted in those places. But Church Street was everything that we need. The Plaza Hotel had all of the black entertainers. They were called the Chitlin Circuit, that black entertainers would come and would stay at the Plaza Hotel.
They called it the Chitlin Circuit, and the name is doing more work than people realize. Chitlins, short for chitterlings, are pig intestines, the part of the pig certain people never wanted, the parts enslaved blacks learned to clean, season, and turn into supper. This circuit was built the same way. In a segregated country, black artists needed places that would let them in, feed them, pay them, and let them leave safely. The Chitlin Circuit turned what mainstream America refused to call the main stage into a place where black performers, livelihoods, and joy could still exist.
Duke Ellington, people that they wasn't famous then, but they became big name people. Red Fox, Duke Ellington, Jackie Wilson. They would play at the Out-of-Tox Theater, but they would stay down 18th Street down to the Plaza Hotel. The white people that worked for them stayed at the Creme de Creme on Granby Street, the Monticello Hotel. They worked for those people. They worked for Jackie Wilson. But Jackie Wilson and Red Fox, they couldn't go down there and stay. And the Plaza Hotel was owned by a woman named Bonnie McGeechan. It was known as Bonnie's Place. She catered to all those black people. They came and they stayed at the hotel. She bought a Cadillac every year, a pink Cadillac. Every year she would have a pink Cadillac.
Who's the boss? Bad B, Bonnie. She practiced hospitality before it had a language. Impeccably dressed, always prepared, always in control of the room. Nationwide Hotel Association's Woman of the Year. One of the 10 best dressed women, according to the Amsterdam News, a black-owned newspaper in New York City. The first vice president of the National Hotel Association. It's not because she was charming, but because she was exact about her business. Her secret? As documented by a writer in the Richmond Afro-American newspaper, she had none. Unless you consider hard work and determination a secret.
They had like a lounge, a New York style lounge. And with blacks we didn't have lounges, we had bars. We didn't have cocktails, we had beer, you know? You had to kind of like know somebody to even go in there. They just didn't cater to anybody. They catered to all blacks, and everybody, but you just knew when you went in there because a lot of times you had to dress on some occasions to go in there. And Bonnie McGeechan would be in there, and she was a perfect host. She would come out, and she would greet people. We would try to time it so that if we heard that was going to be a show at the Out-of-Tox Theater, we would always go there because we know that if we sat in the dining room long enough, we sat there drank cocktails, we going to see Jackie Wilson walk through to come down to eat. We going to see Red Fox coming there. And so that experience was good for me because it helped me to see people, and they weren't really major stars then. They were just names that was on the Chitlin Circuit. They went to Mississippi, Georgia. They went to some states that maybe wasn't kind to entertainers, but the Chitlin Circuit was a whole bunch of people. And I think they figured there was safety in numbers. So they traveled together and they did things together. It was important that I could meet the people because they were people that I admire. I like Wilson Pickett. I like Jackie Wilson. I like to see him entertain. And for me to see him and to be able to go and say hi to him, it was a big thing to me. I went there on a couple of occasions. They would have like a Blue Monday, and we would go in there. One time there was peg leg bass, dance with a peg leg. I remember going over to him, and I remember talking to him. And I remember sitting there, and they would tell me some of the woes and pros and cons of their travel and what they ran into and how welcome that the city had made them. The Plaza, you dress for it. You dress to impress. I would dress for it. And I would try to be impressive, because I was out there. Used it with my leisure suit. You don't even know what a leisure suit is, do you? It was a suit, and I said I used to dress with my platform shoes and put on my green leisure suit and my collar and my disco shirt, and I was out there, man. And you would do that to go into Plaza Hotel because I would have to be kind of stylish because you were hanging with the people that were stylish, In order to get in there, because you had to be with the people, The Plaza Hotel was sipping music. You sip and you chill when you want to whisper in their ear, and it's kind of quiet and the lights were like that. It was a place that we didn't experience because it wasn't that many in the area for us. You had to be not yourself, you kind of had to chill, but we love hand dancing. Hand dancing wasn't permitted in the Plaza Hotel, so you couldn't go there expecting, you did the ballroom thing, if, they let you, but we used to like to let loose and let our hand dance. How to describe it's not like it is today. Today it's not non-touching. You just get out on the floor and you do your thing. But hand dance is when you hold hands and you rock and you twist and you turn and you turn and you do all that. That's you never heard of that before. You have dance contests, you will have DJs and stuff like that. But I remember a couple of times we would win like $50 as a prize, and we would turn right around and spin right back at the bar. But we were excellent hand dancers. We love hand dancing, and we were good at it. We were really good at it.
Church Street, a safe place for joy.
The city tore all that down, and they revamped all of that land back there. I guess they sold it off, but it was the city that did it.
Let's be specific, shall we? Following the end of Separate but Equal, many Black folks naturally began to expand their boundaries, taking their spending dollar with them. This led to the decline of once great pockets of connection, now susceptible to being labeled as blighted. The Housing Act of 1949 allowed the city of Norfolk to purchase this area under eminent domain for an unfair market value. With no choice but to sell and take the low price, many were pushed out, usually into the projects. The mayor of Norfolk at the time, Fred Duckworth, led the charge on urban renewal. Norfolk was the first city in the nation to receive big grant money, starting with $25 million in 1949, most of which was spent on industrial parks, widening roads like St. Paul's Boulevard, the medical center complex, and public housing projects like Tidewater Gardens, which effectively resegregated the displaced Black folks. None of that money was used to revitalize Church Street.
Church Street is nowhere near like it was. Once they say they're going to do it, it's nothing really. You can go there and have a last beer or last gathering, but it's nothing you can do when they say they didn't have to ask you to do it. They just did it. We're going to take your land. We're going to give you this. What it's worth, you got 30 days to do whatever you got to do. We had to find solace in each other, because without that, we were lost. If we didn't have each other, because we had no other place to go. When I lost all that and other places, Bombardi's pool parlor, I couldn't shoot no pool no more. Eureka, we couldn't hand dance no more. Purge Lounge, we couldn't do none of that no more. I felt devastated because where else was I going? I couldn't go down Granby Street and have a good time. I mean, not be welcome. Things were breaking then, but you could feel the hostility like it's some of us still at today. I don't want to go no place and order a steak and you got to bring it out back. What you did to it? And you don't want me there. And that's the way I felt with all of our entertainment, because they didn't replace it with nothing. They spent millions and millions of dollars on Granby Street renovating. They didn't do it on Church Street. They tore them down. They tore them down. They put houses up there. They put houses up there. But they didn't put a gathering place.
Visit our website, truthbetoldcommunity.com, to find out ways to get involved and share this episode with friends. This series was written by Jackie Glass and Hannah Sobel, edited and hosted by me, Nicole Hill, sound designed by Trindell Lightburn, and our work has been supported by the Elizabeth River Trail Foundation through a National Park Service Chesapeake Gateways grant, as well as a grant from Virginia Humanities. Follow our work by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. We couldn't do this without people brave enough to share their experiences, so thank you, Mr. Ernest Davis.